Hey, I'm Will Graham, and welcome to Engaged in Ink. As this season comes to a close, we once again travel to another unique tattoo event to give you a behind-the-scenes look. And you won't believe where we're headed to this year. You guys already know that we like to go and visit a different tattoo convention to round out each of our seasons. Well, the convention that we've decided to come and visit this season, is Ink and the Clink, which is an annual tattoo convention that happens inside Mansfield, Ohio, at the Ohio Reformatory, which anyone who's a big fan of movies out there is going to recognize as the prison where they filmed Shawshank Redemption. So, not a lot of people know that tattoo conventions exist, and even fewer people out there really know what goes on inside. So we're going to be here for the entire weekend, catching all of this for everyone to see. This is not your average run-of-the-mill get-together of tattoo artists. Of course, that will be happening. There will be vendors from all over the place. There is a Midway here. There is a vintage car show, pinup contest. There's bike builders here. There's 2 stages with live music all weekend long. Mushroomhead's going to be here. You know, if you guys are within any kind of driving distance, you should come down here. This is going to be fantastic. You're not going to see anything like this anywhere for miles. Before we get going, let's find a tattoo lover who's visiting a tattoo convention for their first time.
My name is Kirsten Barber, and this is my first time at a tattoo convention.
Perfect! Now let's follow Kristen and find out why she chose to come to a convention to get her tattoo instead of a traditional shop.
I came to a tattoo convention to get my tattoo because I'm very interested in the environment and the vendors, and to see what it has to offer, the type of music and the food, and just to see overall what it's about.
Excellent! Now, wouldn't it be great if Kristen was paired up with a tattoo artist who is also visiting a tattoo convention for their first time?
My name is Jeff Willis. I'm from Main Street Studios in Ashton, Ohio. I started tattooing about 2 years ago, and here at Ink and the Clink. This is actually my first convention, so I've been, like I said, tattooing for a couple years. All the rest of the guys at the shop do it, so I'm here along for the ride, but excited to do well, and kind of new to me, but learning as I go.
This is actually my second tattoo, but it's much bigger, so I'm actually really nervous and excited.
We're going to come back to Jeff and Kristen, but in the meantime, let's find out a little bit more about this amazing location that is the home of the Ink and the Clink Tattoo Convention.
Mansfield, Ohio, the Ohio State Reformatory. We've been here since 1886. The prison itself closed December 31st, 1990. We took it over about 1995.
Correct.
And we've been here since then.
We are a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, and we are restoring the building, so, you know, it's a giant museum. We are also, we have been deemed the home of the Ohio Department of Corrections Museum.
Oh, come on.
Penal Museum.
Thank you. One of the best parts about being around here, too, is history is always revealing itself. With every wall that we restore, tear down, and rebuild, it's amazing to find inmate signatures behind there, the prison numbers. We're still finding all kinds of unique artifacts from shanks, all kinds of graffiti that's being uncovered. You name it, we're finding it. So it is a museum. It's always unfolding.
The history of this place is absolutely magnificent. Now, if you were an inmate here, you would disagree with that, all right? We've got former inmates on our staff. They'll tell you they hated this place. It took them 20, 30 years to come back. after it was closed. He couldn't stand it after he was out, I should say. But as far as what we're doing, the magnificence of the structure, the architecture, you're not going to find anything like it. Where we're at in the East Cell Block, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's the largest freestanding steel cell block in the world. You're not going to find this anywhere else. So we've got some fantastic aspects just of the building besides all the programming we do. We had every year we have different groups coming in here, from law students to college students to badges for baseball.
This building has been used in numerous movies, such as Harry and Walter Go to New York, which was probably one of the most poorly made movies ever. Air Force One, the movie was partially filmed here. The one that we're known mostly for is Shawshank Redemption. There were scenes from Tango and Cash that were also filmed here. But yeah, as for feature films, those would be the big ones. I mean, we've had music videos filmed here. Godsmack filmed the Awake video here. Lil Wayne did Go DJ here. And there have been some smaller bands that have done some things here. So,
And on top of that, because of the popularity of the ghost shows on television, we've had a number of them here over the years. The last one I think that filmed was Ghost Asylum.
Correct.
We're here, had a great time with them, neat people. And then National Geographic is filmed here. BBC was here last year filming prisons. They spent a day here filming with us. You really don't know who's going to show up here next or what type of program we're going to be on, from world magazines that are worldwide to television shows to radio programs. This place is an attractive place to come for the history, and it's kind of a fun place to go to on top of it. And so we get a pretty wide variety, as you'll see today with Ink and the Clink. As you see today, you're going to see young children up to 70-year-olds walking around here, really interested, and you're going to be surprised as the bands are playing out in the front parking lot. That mix is going to be out there as well. And so I wouldn't expect to see a 7-year-old going, but they're going to be out there doing it, all right? They'll have a blast.
All right, so here we are with the producer, promoter, and organizer of Ink and the Clink, Mr. Rick Fields, who's going to tell us what goes into all of this.
Ink and the Clink is a 3-day tattoo, music fest, car show, bike show with a lot of vendors.
And it's huge. So it's a tattoo convention, but you guys pack so much more into it.
Yeah, been a tattoo artist for about 28 years and been to a lot of shows, and started out, you see people talking about the things that they don't like. So I decided that I would do my own show, but I would twist it and try to take the things that artists didn't like and flip it to try to make it better. I just found that, that they weren't involving enough different lifestyles. When they were doing tattoo conventions, it was simply just a hall with a bunch of artists.
A conventional convention is a group of artists who tattoo together with like vendors. I am Susan Fields. I host Ink and the Clink, which is held at the Ohio State Reformatory alongside of my husband, Rick Fields. And this is our 8th show in the state of Ohio, but it is our 2nd show at the Reformatory. A conventional tattoo convention is primarily all tattoo related. It is tattoo artists, it is piercing artists, it is vendors that highlight that. We decided to start hosting a tattoo convention when my husband brought the idea to me, mainly because we were both tattoo enthusiasts. We both tattoo, we both own studios, and the primary goal was to create a convention that was not conventional. In the United States, there are many tattoo conventions, and they're all hosted and held by different people or different organizations. And we didn't like some of the rules at the other conventions, so we decided to start our own. Ink and the Clink brings a number of things to the table that is unconventional for a tattoo convention. Our convention is both indoors and outdoors. Not all tattoo conventions are. They're primarily indoors. And we bring a lot to the table that is family oriented. We don't specifically target just tattoo clientele. We target tattoo clientele, music clientele, merchandise. We bring in children. We don't have an age limit on our shows. And so we offer things such as carnival rides and many times face painting or things that are more targeted to the open public but are still an artistic style. You know, I think so often people misjudge artists in general. We are not just tattoo artists. We are face painters. We are graphic designers. We are artists in every aspect of that word. We bring that into our show.
Rick and Susan have certainly done that. They've worked hard to bring together the most diverse group of artists and performers into one exciting 3-day event. There really is something for everyone. There is an incredible lineup of bands playing throughout the event. Talented performers like the horror cabaret The Monster Dolls, who come to show off their skills alongside photographers, models, and of course, world-class tattoo artists from across the country. And speaking of tattoo artists, let's drop in on Jeff and Kristen.
The tattoo that I'm going to be getting is going to be the artist's depiction of Medusa from Greek mythology, because I really am inspired by the non-canonical Greek mythology and how all the stories openly conflict each other, and she's just most iconic to me personally.
As if the cars, bikes, carnival rides, entertainers, and tattoo artists weren't enough, Assistant Coordinator Alicia fills us in on another great component of the Ink and the Clink Festival.
Hi, I'm Alicia Gadetti. I am Susan and Rick's assistant organizer with Ink and the Clink. We've got tons of food vendors, tons of outside vendors. People come from all over the United States to see us.
And it's not hard to see why. Ink and the Clink does bring together the most unique artisans and vendors all in one place. Now let's take a look at what you can expect to find here at this great convention.
Tattoo artists are eclectic, they're artistic, they like to have odd things in their shop.
Yes, they do. And all of this comes together to draw thousands to the annual Ink and the Clink Festival. But why do tattoo artists participate in this yearly convention?
My name is Dusty Shamblin. I'm from Studio 413 Tattoos in Mount Orab, Ohio. and I've been tattooing for over 13 years. Tattoo artists go to tattoo conventions because it's kind of like, it's our vacation, really. It's a way to come together with different artists from all over the world and, you know, just converse, different styles, different cultures. It's really a learning experience for all of us.
We recognize our artists. We want the guys who are here to be the recognition. We want them to be the spotlight. We want their tattoos featured in the media, in the news crews, in magazines. They are our heart and soul of the show. Our tattoo artists have followed us from show one. And I have to say that that is phenomenal because not that we are creating a clique, but there is a certain personality to this show. And we are so family oriented and so real with each other. There is nothing professional when we talk to each other, if that makes sense. We just rock it together. Vendors and staff alike, we all work hand in hand. And our vendors continue to follow us, and they have continued to follow us from day one. And I cannot thank them enough for that. When they come into Ink and the Clink, they do not, so to speak, call it a tattoo convention anymore. We call this a reunion. I mean, if you talk to any of our tattoo vendors, it has become a reunion. And because it is family.
I've done probably over 12 conventions so far. Ink and the Clink's awesome. I met Rick Fields back in 2012, and him and Susan really put on a nice show. They really try to give the people what they want. And Ink and the Clink, you experience you get to tattoo in an old prison and not do anything wrong. You know what I mean? I can say I tattooed in a prison, did prison tattoos, and I didn't do anything wrong. It's awesome. It's the whole experience from the old prison, from, you know, the booths outside, the people, the live bands. They really bring it all together and do the whole deal. It's awesome.
The first year, we literally were planning right up until the day we still had booths available, but the show went so well, and no one expected it to go so well and be received in the community so well that the second year, when we listed the booths online, we sold out in 7 days.
Well, and I see why. You know, we've talked to some of the artists that are here. We've talked to your wife. You and your wife are a team running this, and I very much get the feeling of family with
Yes.
your event. And what I also found was that your wife, Susan, wonderful lady, she almost takes on like a mom role.
Yeah.
And I kind of get the impression you're a little bit like the dad.
Yeah, and you know, the really nice thing is the rate of the people that come back. It's about 90%. So we are like a family, and you know, it was been a compliment. People have actually said that it's not a tattoo, it's not a tattoo convention. It's a family reunion. So it gives us a chance to get together. We haven't seen each other all year, you know, so it really is like family.
So I can see why tattoo artists want to continue being part of Ink and the Clink. Rick and Susan really do a great job of creating a positive, welcoming environment. I feel like family just by visiting. Now, before anybody gets too weepy, let's go back and check in on Kristen and see how she's holding up with her Medusa tattoo. Aside from Ink and the Clink being the monstrous weekend-long rock and tattoo fest that it is, Rick and Susan's event serves a greater good for the reformatory itself.
The two main reasons that my husband and I host Ink and the Clink, besides it being our heart poured into this show, there's a few benefits to a few different people. A portion of all of our tickets goes to the Ohio State Reformatory. It goes to their preservation society that restores the functionality of the prison. This is a historic site, and all of those funds raised goes back into this building.
Yeah, originally it was scheduled to be demolished, and the board members were some of the original ones that stood in front and refused to move, so it didn't get tore down. But you know, they're trying to raise funds to restore it back to its original state that it was, and so that a part of what we do, instead of just a rental fee, a part of what we do, everything goes to the Historic Society.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, actually, I believe Rick was looking at this place for about 3 years, and well, it's always been kind of a thing that he wanted to do, but he wanted something different and fun, and obviously I can't speak for him, but we waited about 3 years to get approval to do this, from my understanding, so.
So you really pushed to be in the reformatory.
Yes, we did our first 2 shows in a little local hotel, knowing that even the first year we outgrew the hotel location. But you know, there's always some skepticism. You know, a lot of people have that stereotype. You know, tattoo artists. You know, rockers. You know, a lot of people like to think that it's going to be trouble.
Right.
So it took me a couple of years to actually show them, and you know, get some groundwork in to show that you know we put on a legitimate show without problems.
Now, I've also heard rumor that you have a deeper special history with this particular location.
Actually, years ago, I was actually a former inmate in this prison. In fact, my very first tattoo was within these walls.
What was that like?
It was a very scary place. Sometimes it seems like a lifetime ago, and then sometimes it seems like yesterday, especially when I get to walk around.
The tattoo convention actually started here last year. It was run in Mansfield prior to that, but they really stepped up and came and wanted to hold it here at the prison. And it's been a great, wonderful 3-day attraction for us. Last year was a huge event put on, and this year it is even bigger. We have more bands, tattoo artists. We just keep getting more and more of them. It's a wonderful event for us to put on.
Now, Jeff should just be finishing up his Medusa tattoo on Kristen. Let's see how it turned out.
The tattoo took roughly, I would say, about 6 hours with a few breaks in between.
She sat impeccably, and I even told her that as we were going. You know, there's obviously quite a range on even someone who looks at a tattoo and looks away and does that the whole time. That's enough of a shape to make the results go down, but she was completely still, sat, even though I knew she was in pain a lot of times. She sat real well and didn't complain.
It was really sore, but it's awesome, and I really love the tattoo that I decided to get, and I really love the outcome, and I had no prior idea until last night what it was going to look like, and I was so excited, and he met and exceeded all of my expectations.
Well, that's it for our show. Now that you know that they're out there, go find your closest tattoo convention and check it out. And if you can make it, come on down to Ink and the Clink. You will not be disappointed.
Who wouldn't want to come to a prison and A, get tattooed, B, drink some beer with some friends and have a great time and listen to good music?
As the season comes to a close, we travel to yet another I don't remember what I said. Rick and Susan have certainly done that. They've worked hard to bring together Okay. Now, Jeff should be finished